Thanks, babe. Hi gorgeous, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and help me out. Remember, I can't do what I do without you. And for those of you who aren't new to my channel, welcome back and thank you again for all the continued support. Today, we're gonna be talking about a purchase I made at my local Morphe store. So here we have it, and it again comes in their nice bag. I really like the handles, the fact that they're a fabric rope. Again, it is the matte black with the shiny black here and the white writing across the middle, and that is again on both sides of the bag. So I heard that this launched and I got really excited. So I went to the store to go get color matched for the Morphe foundation. Now I was curious to see how they would match me. I felt in store she did a very good job. So they, according to them, I am an F1.120 matte. So again, it's a light neutral shade. I already knew I was a neutral, so I'm glad that we agree. The packaging, it pretty much matches the bag itself. It has, again, the matte black, the flat black here, the white logo writing, again with the shiny black on the top. And again, it has the number at the top, the number here on the side, and I believe that is it. So it's in at least 2 places with the color swatch on the top. And according to Morphe, fluidity, full coverage foundation, 24-hour long wear, sweat proof, transfer resistant, water resistant, free of oils, fragrance, and parabens. Great for all skin types. So while that is straight and simple and to the point, I feel like it's not as oomph. Eyeshadow palettes, they have a lot of sass, they have a lot of jokes in there, and this one I feel like it's pretty straight to the point. And this is the 1 fluid ounce, which is pretty standard for your foundation coverage. So let's go ahead and open her up and see what it looks like. It has the blend the rules on the side as well. So it's not actually a plastic or a glass bottle as some of the other luxury brands. It's actually just a little squeeze tube. Flimsy sort of plastic, reminds you of like a tube of toothpaste. Honestly, it does. Color number is also on the back. I am the F1.120. Looks like it has a shelf life of 12 months. I do like that you are able to see the color here throughout it. And then again, it has the black on the top, which matches the packaging, that little swipe right there, as well as the same on the bag. So opening it up, has a little twist cap. Okay, it is sealed. Let's see if you guys can see that. Right there, it does have that little foil top that I need to peel off. And it does have the little lip to grab it. So luckily I don't have to find something to poke in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it back. Okay, so we got rid of that little foil top, little sealant, if you will. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pour some on my finger. Okay, you do not have to squeeze very hard at all. A very, very light squeeze will have the product come out. So you don't have to fuss with it, so I do like that. Okay, I do have quite a bit on my finger here. I don't know if a little is going to go a long way, but for today, I am just gonna swatch it on my hand and see how that color looks. So we're gonna go ahead and start here. So first off, after taking off this seal, it looks like there is a bit of hard foundation there. I do have that little, like where you squeeze at the little hole, there's like some residue there. And keep in mind when you're first opening it up, you don't want to spread that all over your face. You want to go ahead and just toss that aside. So I'm gonna give this a second to dry. Well, obviously it is a liquid foundation. It does feel pretty heavy on my hand. Pretty wet. It was very shiny at first, but as you can see, as it's starting to dry, it does become more and more matte. Now again, there's nothing on my hand, there's no primer, it's not set. I'm just seeing the product in and of itself. Drying, it is going more toward my natural skin color. Nicely into my skin tone in this area, and then where it's still wet, it's still pretty shiny down here. You can rub it, and if it is transfer resistant. Yeah, it did not come off at all. It didn't even budge. And that's without it even being set, so that's nice. It looks like it is starting to dry off a bit. And again, there was no transfer. I did have some foundation still on my fingers from the initial swatch, but as you can see, there's no smudging of any kind there. Matte products, as some of you may be aware, they can be very drying once you put them on the skin, so you always want to make sure that your skin is hydrated. This doesn't appear to be any different than that. That would still follow the rules. It does look very drying on my hand. Foundation in and of itself, Morphe also came out with some concealer. So they tried to match me based on the foundation. I told them I didn't necessarily like that. For my concealer, I like to go a bit brighter to use it as a highlight during my coverage. So in the store, they also swatched me for the concealer, and they recommended that I was a C1.65, which is actually a soft matte. Now, I've never heard the term soft matte before when it comes to a concealer. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be a somewhat luminous, like somewhere in the middle, like a satin finish, rather than a full-on dewy look and a full-on matte look. Like it's gonna be somewhere in the middle. But again, that's never a term that I've heard before when it comes to a concealer. It looks like it is a standard, like a liquid lipstick kind of tube. It's that narrow, sort of square, matte, flat black here with the white logo and the black glossy swoosh at the top. That number here for the concealer is here at the top, again with a color swatch at the very, 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 very top of the box with a number, and again the soft matte. Now, according to Morphe, their concealer says 16-hour long wear, sweat proof, transfer resistant, water resistant, free of fragrance and parabens. Oh no, I'm gonna say this wrong. Ophthalmologist tested. That word. Right there. So here it is a 0.15 fluid ounce. My other concealers, I'm not quite sure off the top of my head how much comes in those, but I do know that it does tend to vary brand to brand. So I'm sure that is pretty standard, because looking at these, it did look like a standard tube of concealer. I noticed that was quite interesting is that this concealer is only a 16-hour wear, whereas their foundation is a 24-hour wear. Meaning you're probably still gonna need to take this with you for any additional touch-ups or uh-ohs throughout the day. All right, so again, it's just the white packaging on the inside here. Now the tube in and of itself, it does have a little bit of weight to it, but it does still feel pretty light, like there's not a whole lot here. It does have the nicer plastic tube where again you can see the product. Again, it has that little swoosh that matches the lid here. So you can see how it's transferring, getting all that excess off, going right back into the tube. Oh, look at that. More white tube here. So again, you're not able to see how opaque or thick the product is. So I tend to like clearer tubes in general. And then again, we have the nice little brush there. That is actually pretty thick. I feel like it's really wide for a concealer. So it looks like you're gonna get good coverage on one swipe. I am gonna go ahead and swipe this right next to the foundation, which is still right here on my skin, on the back of my hand. And as you can see, once it dried, it blended very nicely. And then I'm gonna go up and down so it goes over the foundation swatch right here. Do another swipe just like that. Let's give that a minute to see how it dries. Judging while it is still wet, there is a lot of product there in one simple swipe. There is, looks like kind of puddles of the product here towards the bottom of the swatches. So you would definitely need to blend that out. While it is still wet, honestly, it looks pretty dark for a concealer. Looking up here where it is swatched over the foundation as it is starting to dry, in some of the areas like in the corners, it looks almost the same color as the foundation. So they probably did not do a very good job of listening to what I was wanting. They probably didn't quite understand in the store that I am aware of what I am doing. I know what kind of look I want to go for. They probably just thought I needed the same shade. So I went ahead and blended it in. At the top here, it does blend very nicely. I'm able just to kind of pat it out, move the product around. Still not quite able to tell if a little goes a long way or not. Nearly as heavy as the foundation, but I can definitely feel the wetness of the product as it is drying. I don't see any sort of shimmer, so I'm not quite sure why it is considered a soft matte. It has dried now. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. It's right up here, and as you can see, it is literally the same color as the foundation. So while it is, yes, it is true color matched, I don't care for it. I definitely want something that's gonna be brighter and lighter. And I was afraid of that when I was in the store, but you know, the representatives were up and down, this is what you're gonna need, and okay. Of itself, I'm still waiting for the rest of the swatch to dry. As you can see, there is still a ton of product there. So it looks like it'll be a while. I think I'm just gonna have to blend it out because it's honestly, it's still pooled all right there, and it's, I don't know if you guys can see it, how it's glistening. That's because it's still wet all throughout. Go ahead and see how the product would sit on my skin. So again, that is my actual skin tone once it is buffed out. As you can see there, there's no difference there. So it is good for my skin color. I just don't think they quite understood what I was looking for in a concealer. Even on my hand, I can still see where it's really settling into any sort of lines, again, because my hand doesn't have any sort of moisturizer or primer on there. So it is gonna be highly recommended before applying any of these products, whether it is the concealer or the foundation. Say it is transfer resistant. And a bit of it did come off into my hands, not a whole lot, but it did smudge. To prep your skin properly so it doesn't have this overly drying effect, once you set it, the makeup should be in place for the rest of the day. According to them, it says it is a 16-hour wear for the concealer and a 24-hour wear for the foundation. Alright guys, if you went ahead and liked this unboxing and the honest review, remember I am not endorsed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below and hit that like button as well to help a sister out. Alright guys, you take care and I'll see you next time. And don't forget to let your inner beauty shine. Take care guys. Bye-bye.